The Full Spectrum Podcast, presented by Champions and Legends. Champions and Legends produces hemp-derived CBD sports supplements for athletic preparation, performance, and recovery. Discover Champions and Legends on the World Wide Web at championsandlegends.com. This is the Full Spectrum Podcast with Big Data and Maverick, available wherever you get your podcasts.
Paging Dr. Maverick. Hello, everyone. I'm back. Big Data, how you feeling, buddy? How you feeling? I feel like last week I may have got you out of your slump. Tell me my remedy worked.
It was very therapeutic. I'm a lot happier this week. Things are looking up. The Gonzaga pain has eased a little bit. We're back to regular business.
Well, remember, you know what they say. Time heals all wounds, Big Data. Time heals all wounds. That's really all I could prescribe for you because I have nothing else. I'm actually not a doctor, so I don't.
But you gave me a prescription.
Again, you can only fill that on the street corner by my house. That's awesome. Big Data, big news. I wanted to start off this week because you know what? We talked to him a couple of weeks ago. He's our best friend now. He's our Canadian best friend. It's Mr. Pat Vellner, who we had on the podcast. We absolutely love talking to him. The Noble 2021 CrossFit Championship started. And you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. The Open Challenge was obviously open to anyone that wanted to get into it. And you know what? He didn't have the greatest showing. He was in 20th place after the Open. Quarterfinals open up. And like a sneaky little Canadian that he is, he's moved up to 4th place.
Woohoo! Yeah, way to go, Pat.
Like my little RCMP. And you know what they say about the RCMP, which is basically the equivalent of the FBI? The Mounties always get their man. Remember that, ladies and gentlemen. Pat Vellner is making moves in the CrossFit Open.
Way to go, Pat. Can't wait to have you on the show again.
Can't wait. You know what? I wonder if they get championship belts. Actually, I know they don't, but I think we should make that a thing. Talk to the CEO. I'm thinking championship belts for Pat Vellner when he becomes that guy.
Consider it done.
Boom. From there, let's move over to a little MLB action. Look, MLB, I'll apologize slightly. You're open, a little soft. I almost forgot you guys started this week, and I was saying to myself, hey, guys, where have you been? What are you doing? Let's get going. And big news out of San Diego, Big Data.
Yeah, we got San Diego was the lone team in Major League Baseball never to have thrown a no-hitter. No pitcher in Padres history was ever able to do it. They've been in Major League Baseball for 53 seasons, so it's kind of weighing on the franchise a little bit. Joe Musgrove, he's got 5 seasons in MLB. His career ERA is 4.20, and out of nowhere, strikes out 10 batters, faces only one over the minimum, 28 batters, 77 of 112 pitches were strikes, and his lone mistake of the night, he hit a batter in the 4th inning with 2 outs. So he was a hit batsman away from a perfect game. He pulled off the no-hitter. The Padres, they don't have that hanging over their head anymore, and got a fun story to start off the MLB season.
Couldn't agree more. And a little more to that story, I was reading up on him. He's from San Diego. He went to San Diego State. I mean, he's homegrown product, and he did it the right way. And by the way, that guy, he was leaning into that pitch. He leaned into that pitch, Joe. That's not your fault. It should have been a perfect game. That umpire should have been throwing him out. But, hey, I digress. Congratulations, baseball. You got a story. I like it. From there, you know what? I want to stay on baseball for a quick second. Actually, I want to make it softball. And I want to go to that state that kind of caused you a little grief during the NCAA tournament. No, it wasn't Gonzaga. It's that other team you were kind of cheering for, and you told us to put some money on it. I lost, and I had to pay the bookie sooner than later. Thanks a lot, North Texas. But you know what, North Texas? You redeemed yourself. Why? A young lady named Hope Trotwine Who is she? She pitches for the North Texas softball team. And you want to talk about no hitters? How about a perfect no hitter? What do I mean? 21 batters up, 21 straight strikeouts. Boom. That, my friend, is a perfect game. Well done, lady.
Impressive. But
Yeah,
remember, I gave you the North Texas over Purdue upset. Round one, that was me.
I think I might have put extra money on Purdue because you know what? Hey, it doesn't matter. I mean, at the end of the day, I thought to myself, you're big data. Computers make mistakes sometimes. In this case, it was not the time. I went against you and I lost. So, okay, fine.
The mean
I'm sorry.
green, they're legit in all sports, apparently.
Apparently, yeah, exactly.
Big data's not wrong.
Speaking of green, great setup, big data. We go to Masters weekend. Wait a minute, didn't they just play? They sure did 5 months ago. And Dustin Johnson Gretzky destroyed the field, but this time didn't even make the cut. He's still tired. He's still, hungover from the big win. And if you've seen his beautiful, beautiful fiance, hey, you know what? They were living it up. If you go on Instagram, I mean, they live a great life. Bottom line, he didn't make the cut. So that means, hey, defending champ, no more. There's somebody in the running. Well, guess what? For a little while, there was this Canadian. These Canadians are coming out of nowhere, big data. And this guy named, Corey Connors makes a hole in one, starts making a move. But there was a guy there. He said, nah, that's not too impressive because I'm crushing everyone as I go by, and it's Mr. Hideki Matsuyama who ends up winning the Masters. Big data. Did you watch the Masters this weekend?
You know, I caught a good chunk of it. I saw Corey Connors hit that hole in one. It was a par three, the sixth hole, first hole in one in 9 years on that hole at the Masters. So very impressive. Apparently, hole 16 is where you've got the most hole in ones over history, and hole six is number two. So it's a popular place to get a hole in one. Saw Matsuyama. You know, I was pretty interested after. You know, he's a pretty humble guy. I saw on Twitter the other day. You know, he was in the airport waiting for his flight to Chicago so he could catch a connector, I guess, to continue home to Japan. And he was just there by himself. He was sitting there, and he actually had the green jacket nicely folded just in the airport seating area. He just had it out, and he was just hanging out.
What?
Yeah, it's just a cool, humble, regular
Are you
dude.
are you telling me he was using it as a pillow? Is that what you're telling me?
Not quite, not quite. But it looked like he was, like he got it laundered and it was nicely folded.
So wait a minute. This is Japan's first ever green jacket. The first guy to ever win a PGA championship. Obviously the master, correct?
That's correct. Yeah, he's.
And
Go ahead.
yeah, go ahead. And they couldn't charter a flight for this guy. They couldn't get him a private plane, get him back home, and celebrate and have a ticket parade down the street in Japan. What is going on
He doesn't
here?
have people. He doesn't
What's
have
going
people
on?
yet.
Yeah, you know what? He doesn't have
He doesn't
people
have an
yet. You're right. I guess
entourage.
he's
He
got
needs
no.
an entourage.
Hey, Hideki, you need two guys. Big Data and the Maverick are here,
We're
sir.
available.
We will. You know what? We and the CEO will pump you hard, my friend. We will pump your Instagram even harder. It's connecting flight for the guy that won the Masters. A connecting flight. Is this for real?
It's
I
for
can't
real.
believe this.
But I'll tell you what, I was looking. I read something on Golf Week here, and basically they said he won it based on 7 of the 18 holes over the 4-day tournament. So they said 7, 8, 9, 11, 12, 13, and 15. He beat the average score by 10 strokes on those 7 holes. And that's basically what gave him the advantage to win the whole tournament. He was also near the top in the greens and regulation. But no, his dominance in those 7 holes is what brought it home for him.
You know what? You know what that's called? Math. He used the right. He used his math skills and said, okay, if I dominate these holes, this is where I'm good at. These holes, I like these holes. I'm gonna just dominate these. Worked out. I like it. Well done.
And
Very good.
physics. Don't forget physics.
And I suppose, yes, golf is a physics game. I'll give you that for sure.
Take that for data.
From there, I love my golf. I love my golf, but at the same time, I love my NFL much, much more. In a couple of weeks, we have the April 29th NFL draft is upon us. Look, I love the first weekend of NFL. It's probably my favorite, but I would actually say second is the NFL draft for me, and then playoffs. I know it sounds kind of crazy, but it's actually that big on me. I love my college football, but I think that what the NFL has done by making this an event, and it really has become that. And having the NFL draft the way they do it, and what sucks is a couple of years ago, over 500,000 fans went to Nashville to watch the draft. Did you guys hear what I just said? 500,000 people lined up on the streets of Nashville to watch the draft. That's how big it got. And then the stupid COVID got involved and kind of abolished it. But hey, good on the NFL. They still were able to pull off some major ratings. I believe it was like 55 million people tuned in last year to watch the NFL draft. No difference this year because the drama that's ensuing right now are the top 4 picks. So let's go through them. We know who the top 2 are basically because it's on everyone's agenda, everyone's mock draft. Big data, it's Trevor Lawrence out of Clemson, QB. We all know Jacksonville's going to take him. He is like kind of that franchise quarterback. You cannot not take him. At number 2, it's our boy from BYU. It's Zach Wilson. I'm still a little iffy on him, but the Jets traded away Sam Darnold and said, hey, you, Zach, get over here. We want you. So we know who the first 2 picks. At number 3, the San Francisco 49ers made a move with Miami and said, hey, Miami, you don't need a quarterback. You got that Tua guy. Let us take it. So San Francisco's at number 3, and at number 4, it's Atlanta. Big data. Who do you think is going to go in 3 and 4? Are you convinced it's the other 2 big name quarterbacks that are in this draft that are going to go there?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, San Fran didn't move up just to take anybody. They're taking a QB for sure. Yeah, who knows? Mac Jones, Fields, who knows who they want to take? I'm more interested in what are the Falcons going to do at number 4. Are they going to take the best non-quarterback available, or are they going to trade the pick to a QB needy team who wants to come in and get the leftover QB that everybody else hasn't grabbed? So I think the most fascinating part of the draft is going to be Atlanta. Like we were saying, he's going to take that big offensive tackle. They're going to take the crazy fast tight end, or are they going to actually trade back and get a bunch of picks to move back a little bit? So that's where the value in the draft is. That's where the excitement is. And yeah, can't wait until the Falcons are on the clock.
With that being said, since Big Data wants to sit on the fence this week and he's still upset about the Zags, we all know this is what's happening. I'll do this for you. All right. At number 3, ladies and gentlemen, mark my words. It was almost written in stone. It was going to be Justin Fields. But from what I understand and from the reports I'm reading and from the other, let's say, just the internet, the perusing of the internet and looking around, it sounds like he did not have a good pro day. There seems to be a lot of mechanical problems, and people are saying that he has to go to a team that has some great coaching. So in my head, I'm like, but this doesn't make any sense. Isn't San Francisco well coached? Isn't this a dream for Justin Fields to go to a Shanahan type of offensive coordinator so that he can teach him the ways? I still think, because I can't pull myself to believe that Mac Jones is going to be taking over Justin Fields at that position. I think Justin Fields is raw, and if he is raw, he can be developed, he can be taken further. So I do believe that San Francisco is going to do what they need to do, which is the right thing, and take Justin Fields. And Mac Jones at number 4 will go to Atlanta. That means Trey Lance, who's out of North Dakota State, who's kind of like, he's not like him. A lot of people kind of compare him because Carson Wentz went there and blah, blah, blah. He will go further down, and nothing wrong with that. He'll go to a team that needs him. But I do think Mac Jones will end up at number 4 with Atlanta. I think, hey, why not learn from Matt Ryan? I may not be his biggest fan, but Matt Ryan is a guy that you can learn. He was MVP in 2015. There's something to be said. With that being said, Big Data, is there a player maybe in this draft to watch out for that all the fans, the people that download us will say, hey, Big Data said that guy's going to be pretty good?
Well, it's no surprise here who I think is going to be the best player, and that's our boy Zach Wilson.
Oh,
Love,
here we go again.
love the Zach
Here we go
Wilson.
again.
I still
Listen,
can't
man,
believe you
when
think the Falcons, with 30
yeah,
plus $1 million quarterback in Matt Ryan,
mhm.
are going to pull a Green Bay Packers and take a quarterback to
There,
sit on the bench. This is the Falcons. There's no way they're going to do
absolutely.
this.
You need a guy in the background 1 year, and I'll be honest with you, Jordan Love. As much as I like that pick and didn't like that pick last year, the reality is you need to start. You got to start getting these guys ready, man. And that's why I'm worried about Zach because buddy, since day one, and with all due respect, I think I brought up Zach Wilson on this podcast. I'm the guy that was pumping his tires, but I never said he was NFL caliber ready from day one. I said I just like the way this guy is. I like his size. I like everything. But what I don't like is being thrown on the New York Jets right away. I thought this guy last year was talked about maybe a late first rounder, maybe second rounder. Now we're talking second overall. That's huge jump, big data. That's a huge jump. I've seen this song and dance, man. I've seen it. I know, and I want better for my boy Zach. I want to see this guy
Next thing you're
succeed.
going to tell me is that Tesla stock was only $100 last year.
Hey, you son of a bitch! You know, I wanted to buy that stock. I was scared. I only had $100 left.
Of
I
course,
should have bought
everybody
some.
knows
I
better.
was
They got to see another season from Zach Wilson. But what about
listen.
Trevor Lawrence? He's going to do the same thing in Jacksonville. You're not asking him to sit on the bench all year, are you?
No, of course not. But it's a little bit of a different situation. You know it. Don't come. Hey, don't you be that guy and start comparing the two. Okay, this is a
They're
totally
two
different
awful
scenario.
teams,
All right.
both of them.
Hold on. You're talking about a guy that was in the. You're talking about Clemson, who was a national championship just a year ago, or a year, well, the previous year, and you've got a guy that everyone's been talking about Trevor for years. He's got all the right statistics. He's got the size, he's got the weight, he's got the
Beautiful
look, he's got
hair.
the arm,
Beautiful
he's got
hair.
it all. Great hair. And he got married this weekend. Congratulations to you, Trevor. Wishing you and your beautiful bride all the best. Real quick, though, I'm going to say these two names. This isn't like, picking out of nowhere. Penei Sewell is an offensive tackle for the Oregon Ducks. This guy, for a very long time, was actually pegged at number 2 for the very long time. So when he goes, wherever he goes, is going to be a bargain pick. People are saying maybe the Bengals are going to try to grab this guy so that somebody's, protecting Joe Burrow. And then the pick that everyone seems to love, but no one loves this guy more than Mr. Jerry over in Jerry's World over in Dallas, Kyle Pitts. Out of Florida, he's a tight end, but slash at 6'6", 240 pounds. You can make him a wide receiver. Apparently, Jerry is trying to make moves to get down to go grab him. I don't know, Jerry. You got a lot of offensive firepower. I don't know what you're trying to do, but I like it, Jerry. I like it a lot. You keep doing it because you guys all know big data is all about the numbers. I'm all about the drama. Big data. From there, we go over to my favorite league because it's a whole bunch of drama lately. It's the NBA. Tell me a little bit about my boy, Steph Curry.
Big night for Steph Curry. He was looking to catch Will Chamberlain as the all-time leading scorer in Warriors history.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Sorry to interrupt. You know I don't interrupt you. Will Chamberlain played for Golden State?
That's right. The Philadelphia Warriors moved to the Bay Area while Will Chamberlain was on the team. So he is
Look at
the
this.
all-time leading scorer in the Warriors franchise. Until last night. So Steph Curry, he needed 18 points to tie, 19 points to become the leading scorer. So everyone thought, sometime maybe in the second half, they would get that honor. Not Steph Curry. He said, you know what? I'm going to drop 21 points in the first quarter. So he had it right away. He had a 53-point night. You know what? When he's on, he's amazing. Was a great night. Great accolade for, to pass Will Chamberlain for Curry is just, that's an amazing, amazing statistic. And yeah, he's the leading scorer in Warriors history now.
if I pass Will Chamberlain in just a line at the local grocery store, I'm a happy guy. So this is a phenomenal record. Congratulations to Steph.
It's
That's
amazing,
big.
amazing.
Big.
And then, unfortunately, in the NBA this week, we got some bad news. The Denver Nuggets were streaking. They had made a trade at
Hmm.
the deadline. They got Aaron Gordon from the Orlando Magic. They won like 7 games in a row after he joined the team. They're playing fantastic. Jokic is the front runner for MVP. Michael Porter Jr. has stepped up a level this year. He's an amazing young player. Jamal Murray was playing fantastic. And really, they looked like the Nuggets were going to challenge for that third spot in the West. Looks like it's going to be Utah and Phoenix at the top. And then it was going to be Denver and the Clippers. And, the Lakers kind of been falling back with all their injuries. Anyway, life was good for the Nuggets. They were looking great. Murray missed a few games with some knee tenderness. He comes back against the Warriors, has a pretty decent game, and then right at the end of the game, tears his ACL. Season over. Huge shock to the Nuggets. They could still be the 3-4 seed in the West for the rest of the regular season. There's only 17, 18 games left in the season of a shortened 72-game season this year, but their playoff prospects have just taken a huge hit. Murray was one of the best players in the bubble in the playoffs last year. They went to the Western Conference Finals. He was a scoring machine. He was playing amazing, and they've lost him. It's a huge, huge hit to Denver, and it's really going to reshape the West playoffs for this season.
You know what? This guy was one of the main reasons I was so enthralled with the NBA playoffs last year. The way him and the Joker were playing together and just tearing it up and making that run. It's sad to see because you can't replace that. Yeah, they went out and got Aaron Gordon, and yeah, he's a good player and all that, but you cannot replace that. It's too bad because I think the Lakers, if they really once they get healthy again and the playoffs start, I think that is the one team they were actually freaking out about. It wasn't the Clippers like everyone thought it was going to be or whatever. It was I'm pretty sure the Denver Nuggets. So pretty sad. P.S. Jamal Murray, Canadian. This has become a Canadian heavy show. Not sure what's
Are you
happening.
are you looking
I
for
think
them to
Canada
open the
is
border? Is that
invading.
what's going on here?
I'm not really sure. Well, that would be nice. That would mean that there's less worry in the world. Yes, I would like that. With that being said, Big Data, I wanted to ask you really quickly about the Brooklyn Nets. I got to ask. I got a quick question. You got Durant, who was hurt for a little while. He finally gets healthy. He comes back. And then Harden, he's like, oh, yeah, my knee hurts or something hurts and I got to go or whatever. And he takes a couple of days off. And then Irving kind of just shows up whenever he wants. My question seriously is, are these guys just kind of saying, you know what, we're good. We're obviously dominating the East. We're just going to take some days off here and there periodically. We're all going to get everyone's playing time. And then come the playoffs, they're all going to be rested. Is this what their game plan is? Am I right about that? Or are these guys legitimately really, kind of hurt when the other guys come back
Normally I
and
would
stuff like that?
say this is not a good situation. You saw what happened with the Clippers last year. They were just everyone was in and out of the lineup the whole season, and when the playoffs came around, they just couldn't make it happen at the end of games. They were blowing leads. They had some, major defensive breakdowns. Got Doc Rivers fired. Bad things happened. I don't get the same feeling from the Brooklyn Nets just because whenever KD misses time, like he came back the other day and he only played a few minutes, but he was like perfect from the field. Like for some reason, when he comes back from injury, he is 100% ready to go. Uh, I think they're so deep. They have so many guys now with LaMarcus Aldridge in the buyout market that they got, Blake Griffin in the buyout market. Even their, scrub guys like Bruce Brown is having an amazing season. Lawalu Cabarro is pretty good. They just have Landry Shamet. They just have a bunch of, solid kind of glue guys. And I don't think it's going to hurt them. I think they're going to be really good in the playoffs. Now, can they hang with Philadelphia? Can they beat Milwaukee? Sure. They could also lose to those teams too. So I think it's a bit of a toss-up, but I think regardless of how many games everybody plays, they'll be the favorite in the East.
I don't want to beat a dead horse, but I just realized their head coach, Steve Nash, Canadian. You went on this tirade. I asked the question, and then all of a sudden it just came to my head. Steve, I'm not going to believe in conspiracy theories, but there's something going on.
Are you doing a deal with the free trade agreement or something? What's going on with you today?
NAFTA, you know me. I'm all about the NAFTA. One last thing. Bruce Brown is going to be our biggest fan. Why? Because no one's ever said his name on any podcast or any form of NBA analyst show or anything like that. So Bruce Brown, we love you here.
Come on anytime, Bruce. Anytime.
From there, anytime you want, sir. From there, we go to everyone's favorite segment. It's the Great Debate. And you know what? I feel like I should just ask the general question, what's better, maple syrup or Canadian bacon? But I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to ask. We talked about it a little bit earlier. It really just comes down to this, Big Data. They're both really hard to get, but which one is harder to get? A no-hitter in baseball or a hole-in-one?
Well, I'm going to go for sure with the one that takes very little luck to do. You could get lucky at a hole-in-one. You cannot get lucky with a no-hitter. You gotta get out 27 guys without a hit. I'm going for sure. Just with the amount of thousands and thousands of baseball games there are and how few no-hitters there are, I gotta say no-hitter all the way.
So I agree with you, but here's my thing on it. I'm going to agree with you. We're going to be on the same page for sure. A hole-in-one. I mean, a guy at our local course can hit a hole-in-one on a lucky day. The wind's the right way. The grass is the right way, whatever, right? A no-hitter. Nolan Ryan threw 7 no-hitters in his career. Everyone knows I love the Nolan Ryan, the Express. This guy, 7 no-hitters. That's it. That's all I'm going to say. None of us can do that. There's obviously like our friends out in San Diego. They needed one guy, a local guy, to finally pull one off. And you got Mr. Nolan Ryan pulling off 7 on his own. I don't know. I agree with you, Big Data. It's definitely the hole-in-one is easier to achieve. But at the same time, pretty cool that the Canadian hit it at the Masters and all that stuff. But yeah, man, I know.
And don't forget, Nolan Ryan could also kick your ass.
Dude, anytime an old man can put you in a headlock on national TV and bust you in the head, it's over. That was the most amazing old man move of all time. The best. The best. There is no other better. There it is, everybody. The Full Spectrum podcast right at you. Download us. And if you haven't, keep cheering for Mr. Pat Vellner. Send a message over to James Harrison and let him know, hey, we don't appreciate those videos making us look bad. Tell him to take them down. Get them off Instagram. Just joking. We love the James Harrison. Talk to you.
Thanks, everybody. Take care. The Full Spectrum Podcast, presented by Champions and Legends. Champions and Legends produces hemp-derived CBD sports supplements for athletic preparation, performance, and recovery. Discover Champions and Legends on the World Wide Web at championsandlegends.com.